Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another part of my renovating base game series and another part to my 7 days of base game mini series that I'm doing throughout this week of The Sims 4 base game becoming free for everybody. So now it's been free for a couple of days. This is actually the 6th part of the series, so only one more build to go for the base game ones. Of course, I'll have more base game ones to come because my renovating base game series is still continuing, even though I kind of do them infrequently. But hopefully now that I've done this, I will feel inspired to do more of them. But anyways, as you can see, today I am doing this cute little house that you guys can find in Willow Creek, right next door to the Pancakes house. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with this neighborhood, and if not, this house. This house is really cute. It's a pink and green house with these yellow chairs on the front porch, and I actually really liked the yellow. And so as I was trying to think of what I wanted to do for this build, I was trying to figure out if I wanted to stick with the, the pink and green color scheme, or if I wanted to do something different. And I decided I wanted to do something different just because I've done a lot of pink and green with base game because there's a lot of options for those, but I haven't done a whole lot of yellow. And so I decided to make that the primary color for this build. And that was basically just because I was inspired by the furniture on the front porch. And I decided to switch up the roof line. I just don't really like the original roof line. I mean, it's kind of interesting and it's actually kind of realistic. I was looking at different pictures of homes from Louisiana, which is of course the inspiration for Willow Creek. And there was quite a few of these like shotgun houses that had that exact same roof line, but I guess I'm just not a fan of it. So I decided to switch it up. And then here I'm switching up the colors of the interior. I left the floor plan exactly the same. The only thing that I did was I brought the house, I think, forward by a tile just so I could make the master bedroom a little bit like just stick out from the back of the house, just so I could make the kitchen a little bit bigger, because I felt like I needed a little bit more space for the living area just because it was so cramped and so tight of a space to have the kitchen, the living room, and the dining room all in this one room. And so, especially with like the placement of like the front door, and I didn't want to move that. So I think I made it work, and I think your Sims do have enough space. And then of course, like the rest of the series and the rest of the builds that I'm doing for the 7 days of base game series, it's very minimally decorated. I'm trying to limit the clutter, like limit the amount of furniture just to keep them more player friendly across different types of computers, but also just for like gameplay purposes. So hopefully I'm achieving that. Hopefully you guys agree, but I'm actually really loving the more minimal style. I think specifically for base game, it actually looks better that way, and it's somehow really appealing to me. And I think that's just because it's it's something different, so it's kind of refreshing. But yeah, anyways, here you can see I am decorating the interior, definitely bringing in those yellow colors with the furniture pieces. So like the dining chairs, the flowers, the artwork, even like the couch and the chair yellow. And I don't believe I've ever used those particular furniture pieces in this color, so I'm actually very happy about it. And even the stove and refrigerator, I'm not sure if I've ever used them in this color. I mean, maybe I have, but if I have, it's been a very long time. And so I was really happy about that, and I just think it looks so cute and cozy, and I'm really happy that I was able to keep the original like location of the spaces. I think the living area might be in a little bit of a different orientation just because like I think the placement of like the couches are different. I'm not sure if there was a dining table originally. I don't know. I felt like this whole interior was so just confusing and awkward, and like the colors were all over the place, and I don't know, I did not understand what happened in here basically. And yeah, anyways, here I was just adding some kitchen clutter, just a few clutter pieces just to make it feel like Sims actually live here, but not too much, I don't think. But sometimes it's hard not to add extra decorations. And then yeah, I'm just adding a couple of like lamps and overhead lights and trying to squeeze the couch and the coffee table close to the wall as I can so it doesn't block the front door or anything. And then here I'm using these doors that we got in an update. I actually use them very often when using medium height walls, just because we don't have great interior doors for medium wall heights. We have like quite a few front doors and not a lot of just interior doors or archways. There's really like a very it's very limited. Anyways, over here is going to be the bathroom. So it's the only bathroom in the build. And I decided to continue with the yellow color scheme. Originally it was pink. So I pretty much used all of the same objects. I just changed the colors and switched up a couple of things and like the placement of a few of the items. But it's still pretty similar to how it was originally. And then here I realized I forgot to change the color of the back of the build, and then also the windows. I do change up the exterior wall color here pretty soon. This gray I just felt like didn't really match anything. I was just trying to use it because I don't use it that often, and I don't know, I just didn't think it worked, so I ended up doing something different. And then over here is going to be the master bedroom. Every time I have decorated this build or renovated it, because I have renovated it also for my old series, which was renovating EA, and that's a series that I was doing where I was renovating EA builds but using all of my packs to do the renovations. And when I did it that time, I just envisioned a grandmother living here with their grandchild. And this time I just felt exactly the same way. And I thought that was so funny because I felt the same way when I was doing the mid-century style home just a few days ago. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But instead of having a child sim, this time I imagined it was a teenager living with their grandparent. And so I thought that was kind of fun. And I continued with the green color as the room was originally. I just kind of basically changed some of the green furniture and moved things around. So I moved the placement of the bed. And I also just added different activities in here. So I put a desk over here with a computer. I also added an art easel in here. So I was thinking this teenager is really into like painting and artwork, and I definitely think they want to grow up and be a famous artist. And so I thought that was pretty fun, but mostly I just kind of stuck to the green color and added posters and decorations that kind of went along with that color scheme. And so I thought that worked out pretty nicely and was pretty fun. And it always makes it a little bit easier to choose decorations when they pretty much just have to match when they have to be the same color. I mean, not every time, because sometimes you can't find things that match and it can be kind of frustrating. But yeah, over here I'm just adding some shelves above the computer desk with a few little like knickknacks just to make it feel more personalized and just to give it a little bit more personality. And so I thought that worked out pretty nicely. And then moving on to the exterior, I do switch up the wallpaper like I was talking about, and then I also switch up the landscaping. I liked the landscaping originally, but I felt like I just needed to do something different. And so what I decided to do was make a little seating area at the like side part of the house, just to make there like some sort of outdoor area to hang out for your Sims, just because there's no backyard and I didn't want to like move the house any more forward. And even if I did, you would have maybe like 2 tiles to hang out in the backyard. So yeah, I didn't think that was necessary. And I just remove the landscaping, add my own landscaping, and then I also add an outdoor dining table. And I loved the gnome that was out here originally, and so I left that one and decided to add more of them. And we have so many cute gnomes from base game, so it was really easy to add those as decorations. But yeah, here I'm just adding some hedges. If I were to use the regular build and buy hedges, this would be very expensive, so I used the live edit objects ones. They're exactly the same, but I wanted them to not really add to the price of the house, so I use those because they're free. And then I just add like a couple of other greenery plants around and a couple of flowers. Not really a lot of flowers, it's more just greenery. I felt like that worked better for this build. And then I just add a little pathway over here to kind of like a makeshift kind of little patio area. So it's more like a little gravel spot basically. Oh, and some planter pots too, so your Sims can do some gardening. And then something you may have noticed, I did switch up the roof a little bit because the way I extended the house kind of messed up the roof line a little bit, but thankfully I was able to fix it pretty easily. And yeah, here I just mess around with the pathway a little bit, just trying to make it look a little bit better. And I don't know, I just felt like it looked kind of awkward, so I do end up actually combining a couple of different pathways, or terrain paints rather, to create the pathway leading to this little dining area. And then here I add the gnomes, and then that's it for the build. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one, and there's only one more part to my 7 days of base game series, so I will have them all linked so you guys can find the rest of them really easily. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars. Maybe the birds will sing about your heart. Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope. Fill my head with roses. I can't help but dream letters that start with your name. One thing I know is that there should be. There is no one who has a heart as pure, no, not like yours. Dreaming of you. 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 I'm dreaming of you. What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars.